babe, I can't believe you moved back into this house. We should have sold it when Dad died.
It's probably just some neighborhood kids. You're gonna be all right, Mrs. Reynolds.
Who's there?
How you doing?
Maybe we shouldn't have moved into this place. He's here. He's here.
Nobody out?
He's running down the door! I don't know what to do. He follows me everywhere.
Who, Mom?
You know who.
I'd recommend a psychiatric consultation.
What if she becomes dangerous?
He's alive. We gotta get you out of this house. Whatever happened, it wasn't me. I'm not in control anymore.
Molly, lovely Molly, how returns.
Hang on. Talking away, my mic's muted. Oh, what am I like? Hey up, I'll start again. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. Welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear. As you just saw from that trailer, is my audio on now? I've unmuted my mic. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Well, whatever. We're doing Lovely Molly this week, a film from 2011, starring Gretchen Lodge, I think. It's the only thing I've ever seen her in. She's amazing in it. I think she won a couple of awards. But anyway, before we get into that, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, join me in the chat. Win Grace, you're supposed to be over at Palantir doing your job. I nearly missed this because I was watching Shane on the Palantir and I saw me type me countdown on the thing. I thought, oh, bloody hell, I've got a thing to start. Got my own stream to start. Where were we? All right, yeah, join the chat. I'm also live on Rumble. Let's double check, make sure we are live in all the places. Yes, we're on Rumble and we're live on Twitch as well. Yes, we're going on there. What else? You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Later on, I'll be uploading it to Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Hang on, I'm leaning. Right, there we go. Links in the description for those, as are links to my 2 books. I've got to keep plugging them because you never know. Silent Predator, short horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire. And Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action-adventure about UFOs and abductions and alien invasions, all sorts of stuff going on, the moon and, comets. Oh, it's got everything. Reptilians, greys, it's all in there. Right, Lovely Molly, right. As I said, from 2011, starring Gretchen Lodge, directed by Eduardo Sanchez, who was one of the directors of the Blair Witch Project, along with Daniel Myrick, who would go on. They've both directed other stuff, but for me, it would go on to direct a really good film that I like called The Objective. Can you hear me? Nobody said if they can hear me. I hope you can. You said in the chat, no sound and audio, and I unmuted my mic, and hopefully it's all right. Where were we? Yeah, called The Objective, which is a really good sort of like sci-fi. I don't know what to call it. It's not really a horror film, but it's like a sci-fi chiller, I suppose. That's a good film to look out for. And Eduardo Sanchez did Blair Witch, did this, and I think next week he'll have done Star Trek Strange New Worlds. He directed one of this season's Strange New Worlds episodes, so that's a bit of a leap, isn't it? What else? I think it was pretty low budget. Does it say? Yeah, budget $1 million. It didn't do well at the box office. That's not surprising. But it's a good film. I really enjoy it. It does have some nudity in it, so I'm gonna have to be careful when we get to that part later on. I've got I'll show you. Hang on, I'll show you here. Hang on. I've got like a black thing that I can just pop up. I used to like re-edit the films and put black bars over like nipples and stuff, but I couldn't be bothered. So hang on, I've done the wrong thing. Hang on, where are we? Where are we? There we go. So I've got this black bar that I can like pop up there to cover things up. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. Hopefully. Anyway, let's go full screen on this before we start. There we go. Right, what else? What else have I got to say? Boo Biddy, yes. Yes, there's a sex scene and a bit of full frontal nudity in it later on. Yes, it's a huge bar because there's a huge bit to cover up later on in the film. I'll mess it all up and it'll all go hideously wrong. But anyway, right, let's get on with the film, shall we? I don't think I have anything else to say about it. It was filmed in Maryland, I do believe. And the title is from an Irish folk song called "Lovely Molly," which you actually hear in the film. The film's original title was "The Possession." There's supposed to have been too many films called that, isn't there? So they decided on "Lovely Molly" instead. Right, okay, let's get on with it then. Right, so off we go. As usual, we'll not be just watching the film. I'll be going through it in a series of stills and talking about it as I go. I've probably forgotten everything about it. I watched it a few hours ago. By the way, on the DVD, which I've got here. There we go. See, it's not illegal. Got it on the DVD. Proper DVD, not a copied one. Look, proper one. There's a good bonus features. They're not very long. There's like 4 little featurettes that are done kind of in the style, the Blair Witch Project, where they did like a faux documentary about about the missing filmmakers. There's a bit like I think like a 4-part little documentary on the DVD about that. I'll talk a little bit about that after the film. Might even show some bits from it. Right, film. Let's get on with it. Right, so we start. Here we go. Right, Image Entertainment. Right, we start off with the. As I said, it did Blair Witch, so we do get. It's not really found footage, but we do get some like POV shots like this, as done from a camcorder. But anyway, so it's set in 2011 or 2011, however you want to say it. We keep seeing the date. Here it's the 16th of October. Because you Americans put your dates the wrong way around for some reason. No idea why. So it's the rest of the film is essentially in flashback. So mostly. Right, so here we see this is Molly. Molly, what's her last name? Oh God, what's her name now? Is it? I'm going to say Pearson, but that doesn't sound right. Don't say there. Hang on. Oh, don't say there either. Oh, stupid. Whatever. No, Reynolds. It's Reynolds. I should have remembered that because I was thinking her husband should be called Ryan. It's Molly Reynolds. That's it. So this is Molly Reynolds. She's like doing a what's they call it? A confession video. But she's saying, all the stuff that's happened, it wasn't me. I wasn't in control. And she's crying and that. And she puts a knife to her throat, like we saw in the trailer. Hang on, Joshua's saying things now. Look, we're gonna have an argument about America and the rest of the world. Are you ready? I beg to differ on the dates. There you go. The rest of the world is incorrect. Wink. Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are wrong, but in the majority. Anyway, she holds a knife to her throat, but she doesn't kill herself. Yeah, she can't do it. So anyway, and then we cut to the titles. Haxon Films, who did Blair Witch as well, didn't they? And then we cut to a month earlier or thereabouts. No, a year earlier. Sorry, it's the year before, and it's 2010. That where they're getting married. Molly and Tim Reynolds are getting married, and I don't know who's doing this video, but somebody is. Lodge's name, and we're learning that she's got a sister. This is her uncle, who's basically raised them more or less. The mother died when she was young. She had like a blood disease or something, and then she was raised by her father. As her and her sister were raised by the father, Ben. And that didn't end well because he died. We'll learn what happened to him later on. What else? But then, she recovered. I think she spent some time in a mental institution. But then she recovered, and now she's happy in this small, I think it's Maryland town, and she's getting married to Tim, who's a local truck driver. Right, that's Johnny Lewis. That's Tim. Presume that's his friend. Getting ready, doing his tie. So they're all happy. They're all getting ready for the wedding, and everything's lovely. And here we are. That's Pastor. Well, I forgot his name now. Is it Pastor Bob? Let's have a look. Yes, Pastor Bobby. Yeah. Doing the wedding, and he has a part to play in the film. Hang on, Josh was talking again. Sorry, Josh. Speaking of Blair Witch, thoughts on all three films? Well, I love the first one. I really like the second one. I don't know why people rag on Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I think it's really good. I do. I think it's really good because it's not the same. It does things differently, and I really like it. And the third one, but that just the Blair Witch. Yeah, well, wasn't it just Blair Witch? It wasn't as good as the other two. I don't think. I think it was a bit much, and I didn't like that we actually saw the Blair Witch, and it were kind of it aliens as well. I don't know, but it got a bit carried away. Are there 4 now? See, I don't know. I'm wondering. I don't know. But yeah, I like the Blair Witch films. Like I say, I'm a bit of a found footage fan, or I used to be. You don't see much found footage these days, do you now? To be honest, but in its heyday, I was a big fan. I even had a web page all about it. I even had a Facebook page called the Found Footage Phenomenon, and like I say, I've got quite a lot of found footage discs over there. And yeah, that's a Cloverfield is my favourite found footage film. That shows you what happens if you got $30 million to throw at a found footage film. Anyway, speaking of Blair Witch, I think only 3. Yeah, I think there's just 3 in there. I enjoyed 2 quite a bit too, and 2 answered a lot of the complaints of the first. Yeah, that's it. I enjoyed it. So I thought there were a third one before the remake. Well, what a remake! What it was a continuation, because it was the brother of I forgot her name. The brother of the snotty-nosed lass going in and to find her or whatever. Found footage seen Chernobyl Diaries or Frankenstein Project. Yes. Well, Chernobyl Diaries, it started off as found footage, didn't it? And then it kind of just wasn't. After about 5 or 10 minutes, they just decided, oh, we're not bothering with this found footage stuff. But yeah, that was quite good, especially that bear. And Frankenstein Projects. Now then, I think I've seen Frankenstein. I get mixed up. There's Frankenstein Project and Frankenstein's Army. I can't remember which is which. I will have seen it. I've probably got it over there somewhere. But yeah, like I say, I like my found footage. Anyway, back to the film before we digress. One of my favorite. Sorry, I'm digressing myself now. One of my favorite found footage films is yes, Afflicted is a good one as well. Yes, there you go. Afflicted is a good one. But one of my favourite ones is called Eyes in the Dark. Like a no-budget found footage film. which is a lot of fun. It's all about. It's a little bit like Attack the Block, where there's those were like dark creatures that you could just see the teeth. Well, these are like dark creatures that you could just see the red eyes, and that was fun. I had to buy that. I think I had to get that from the actual website. I think I don't think they sold it on Amazon. They might do now. I don't know, but I think I had to buy it from the film's actual website. I think. Anyway, Frankenstein Project. I presume you mean that was in Alaska. I can't remember. I'm sure I've seen it. Is that the one where they go into like the wilderness and Frankenstein's monsters? You see it in the background. It's a bit like Yeti, lurching around in the background. They fight and they end up in this shack and it attacks them. Is it that one? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. So I think I have seen that one. Right. Getting married. Right. They're getting married by Pastor Bobby. All right. She drops the ring. Aye. I'll turn you into a Yorkshireman yet, Joshua. She drops the ring, so that's not a good sign. But everything it turns out nice. And I think Bessie drops the ring. Look, oh God, drop the ring. Anyway, everything's lovely. In the end, they have a nice kiss, and then I think we cut to more or less present day. People talking about how much they love them and all that, and and all that stuff. Right, then we cut to now. I say it's not all found footagey type stuff. It's traditionally shot. Right, they moved to this house, which was the family house that she grew up in, and apparently there are a lot of bad stuff happened when she was young. But for some reason, she's moving back in with her husband. God knows why, but she is. But it's quite a big house. Look, it's quite a big house. Apparently, it's built in the 18th century. I think they say in this documentaries that we'll talk about later. That's on the DVD. It gives you all the history of the house. That it was originally called Dublin House. And it was built by an Irishman who were into the occult and all that, and demons and stuff like that, and killed like local Indians. They called them that in them days, and all that stuff. So. And there's been lots of tragedy over the centuries in this house. People killed, and it's like it got a reputation of being a haunted house. And actually, in the last documentary, there's like 3 documentaries about the true story, which it's not. But in the last documentary, it's about the making of the film, and they said they came to film in this house, and they're saying the crew had all this paranormal stuff happening, so they have like a mini. Like ghost adventures sort of thing where they get a psychic in and they have EVPs and all that stuff. So that was fun. Like I said, they're only short, only like 7 minutes each. Anyway, right, so they're moving in. Right, oh God, I've pressed the bloody button again. Look, there we go. They're moving in. And here we go. Everything's lovely. The house isn't in the best condition, but it'll do. But they're all happy, look. And kissing and all that stuff. Music by Tortoise. Thought you'd say turtle in America, because you don't know the difference, do you? Right, what we're on now. It's another flashback to it's obviously the reception the year before. Showing good times. Cutting the cake. There you go. Written, directed, and edited by Eduardo Sanchez. Right, so now we see Molly, for some reason, filming this chair. I don't really know why. I suspect it may have been her father's chair, but it has some significance. And we see all these pictures here. These are significant. Can you make them out? Yes, they're there. These are significant later on. These photographs on the wall, usually of horses. If you notice, can you just make them out? They're like horses and stuff. That's important later. Anyway, there she goes. She's pulled the thing off the chair. I presume it's significant, but it's not at the same time. But I think it's to do with her father, which and he's a significant character in the film, even though he's dead. And we actually see him. We see him more in the documentaries than we do in the film, oddly enough. Right, they wake up in the middle of the night. The alarm's going off. It's going boo 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 boo. So he turns off the alarm. There's Tim, and he's going to go and check what's going on. It finds out it's the kitchen. It must be one of those alarms that tells you which door's been opened or whatever, and says it's the kitchen. And then they get a phone call from the company, the alarm company, and she tells them to phone the police. So the police are on the way, but he's going to go and check. He's got a baseball bat. He's going to go and check. She's saying, "No, stay here with me," or she says, "I'm going with you." But anyway, so they go together. He goes outside, and people say, "Well, why are you going to check? It could be, it's a horror film. You never go and check, the noise." But well, you wouldn't you? And I've lost count of the times I've heard a noise in the house when I've woke up at night, and you just go and check, don't you? You're not thinking you're going to get got by demons or burglars or anything. I'm just assuming the cat's knocked something over or whatever. But anyway, he goes to check, and I don't go around. All the lights go on when I'm checking things. They go and check, and they hear a noise from downstairs, like a loud banging or something, or a groaning. I can't actually remember now. They hear a scary noise anyway, so they go running back into the room, terrified, and wait for the police to arrive. Here we go. The police are coming. There it is. Cutch County. That's where it is. I think it's supposed to be Maryland. So the policeman arrives. He knocks on the door, and they seem to answer quite quickly, even though they were like upstairs in the room. They must come running down. Maybe they saw him arrive, and they're ready. So he goes. He has a look round. He tells them to go back into their room and lock themselves in while he has a look round. And he says, "Well, there's on the door that the alarm set off." He says, "There's no forced entry. Are you sure that you locked it?" And Tim says, "Yes, I'm positive I locked it." No, the policeman has a look round, and he can't find anything, anything wrong. So he tells them, get a quick look at some of the different rooms of the house that have probably been unchanged, for quite a long time. There's the parents' room and other rooms, and we see that the parents, it seems, slept in separate beds. I think it's the parents' room. Anyway, so he goes, does the policeman. He says, "Well, I couldn't find anything." And so they apologise. They say, "Well, I'm sorry for calling you out and wasting your time." And he says, "No, that's what we're here for." So off he goes. They go back to bed. The last thing he says is, I'm damn certain, damn sure I locked that door." Right, what happens next? Right, yes, we see this now. This is 4th of October, 2011. We see, I'm presuming, we see a few of these shots, and I'm presuming, well, it's got to be. This is Molly going around with her camcorder. We saw her earlier on filming, that chair, didn't we? So it's Molly going around with a camcorder, and she's kind of singing this creepy, but she's like humming, like giving it all that. And she might be humming that lovely Molly song. I don't know, but then we see the different rooms of the house. I think that's Molly, and I think that's supposed to be Hannah, her sister, her big sister. I think. That's a cupboard in one of the bedrooms, which is important later. And then she comes round to this outbuilding, and we see this door with like a wreath on. That kind of creepy looking, Blair Witch vibes, to be honest, isn't it? Remember the like stick figures in the Blair Witch made out of twigs and stuff? It kind of got a bit of that vibe, hasn't it? There's another one in the house somewhere. We see it later in the house. I'm not exactly sure what relevance it has, but I think it just looks creepy. I think that's what it's there for. So we see, we presume that Molly's going into this creepy outbuilding, and she must know where she's going. She goes straight to this place. She moves something out of the way. She puts the camera down, moves something out of the way, picks the camera back up, all like humming this creepy tune. And she pulls these boards away. She goes down into this cavity under the ground. And then we start hear her still humming this song quite happily. But then we hear this kind of angry breathing. I'm getting chills. With this kind of angry breathing, if there's such a thing, but it does sound angry. But she goes into this dark area under this outbuilding. Come on, you're going to move or what? And we see, they're going to show it. No, for God's sake, heck. I'll go back again. Just make it out there. So even go back a bit further. I don't know. Hey, we see there's something. It says in the document it's carved into the rock. Come on, going to show us. If I skip, it'll bloody go straight past it. No, it might look. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. What are you doing? What are you moving for? Oh, never mind. Joshua says, stupid going in there in the first place. Derp. Yeah, but I think this is. I don't think she's in the right mind, to be honest. At this point, I think almost immediately something's happening to Molly. Remember, I said the original title for this film was The Possession. So I think as soon as she's gone back into the house, things have started happening that are beyond her control. Anyway, she finds this symbol. It's like two horses' heads and like a sword, and it's to do with. I'm sure I read somewhere. I haven't been able to find it. I tried to look it up, and I don't know where I saw it. When I first saw this film, I was looking stuff up on it, and I'm sure it's to do with like Norse, like what they call that, horse worship. I suppose I don't know if Norse people worshipped horses or what. I don't know. But it's something to do with that. But in the documentaries, it mentions Orobas, which is like a demon, a horse-headed demon. It was supposed to be like quite high up in, the satanic hierarchy, apparently. But anyway, and there's all these symbols around it, either carved into the rock. So she's gone straight there. So for whatever reason, have I gone back onto this? That's that. And we find out that Tim has got to go away because he's a truck driver. Oh yeah, it does seem fast though. Yeah, well, I think almost immediately things start happening. It does build up slowly to a head, but like I say, almost immediately she's affected by the house. And as you can see, there's everything. All the pictures in the house have got horses in, so it's all to do with horses. Pardon me. Even down to the clip-clop of hooves, as we'll get to later. Anyway, it's telling us got to go away. We've got to go truck driving away. So she's not happy. Says it's my birthday tomorrow, and he says, "Well, I'm sorry, I've got to go." She's not happy about that. But anyway, whatever. It's his job. So off he goes away truck driving. Spoilers for later. We do find out he's having an affair. But so is he actually going away on his, in his truck, or is he just going to his other woman's? I don't know. She's left alone in the creepy, possessed / haunted house by herself. But anyway, she's going to work. There you go. She finds a card and some earrings from Tim. He's saying sorry and stuff, and that he loves her. So. Fair enough. Right, she's gone to work. I'm not sure where she works, to be honest, but she's a cleaner at wherever this is. Maybe it's a mall or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But she's a cleaner there. So there we go. We see her at work. I think I see her sister works there as well. An affair already. What a bad. Well, we don't find out about it till later on. To be honest, like I said, spoilers. We don't find out till later on. That's till quite near the end. But so she's talking to him on the phone. That's it. She's on the phone to him and saying she wants him to come home. She misses him. And he says, "I'll be home tomorrow." I think he says tomorrow. He'll be home tomorrow. And he promises they're going to take her out and they're going to have a nice time. A belated birthday celebration. And she gets called back in, saying, the boss wants to talk to you, so she thinks she's in trouble. She goes into the room and the happy birthday party. So that you guys and all that, yeah. Then we cut to she's at home with her sister Hannah, having some birthday cake at home, and Hannah's smoking a joint because she's like that. But apparently, Molly wants to have a go, and Hannah says, "Well, you shouldn't really, because we learned that Molly's like a recovering addict." But she has a couple of goes on it. I mean, from watching this, you could argue this is the point that things start going wrong. But we'd already seen she's been down into that creepy under place, so maybe not. But this probably doesn't help. You could argue maybe it's opened her up to the dark forces in the house. Anyway, so they're having a mellow time, I suppose. Right. Anyway, she's got to go then now as Hannah. So off she goes, leaving Molly alone again in the creepy house. She sets the alarms and goes off to bed. There we go. One of the rooms. See, he's got one of the creepy wreaths in the house. Because I'm thinking, what's she gone back to that other place for? What's she gone outside for? But it's actually in the house, is it? It may be connected to a mother, because they were talking then of the kitchen table. They were talking about how her mother, before she died, she asked for them to go out and bring flowers into the house. So maybe that's why there's these wreaths in. I don't know. There we can see more horses. Photographs of horses. As I said, it's important. There we go. And she's checking this room out, and I'm not sure. Not sure if this was their room when they were kids. Actually, I think it might have been. I think it might have been a parent's room, but no, I don't think it is. I think it was their room. I think this bed closest to us might have been hers, and that bed might have been Hannah's, because we see her sitting on this bed quite a lot. So I'm guessing this was her bed as a child. And she's thinking, obviously thinking about stuff. This where we hear the creepy. Yes, she falls asleep on the bed. She wakes up and she hears her name. She hears, somebody says Molly. Chills. She wakes up, because I suppose it's happened to all of us. I suppose sometimes you wake up, hear your name, and wake up, don't you? But she hears that and wakes up. Goes looking round. She sees the alarm is armed, but it's not going off. But then I think is it this bit where she can hear somebody singing? I think, or is it she hearing somebody crying? Can't remember. So she's looking through the house. Oh, that's it. Yes. She's looking through the house. She's got the baseball bat. She's looking through the curtain. She doesn't see anything. I think this is the bit where we saw in the trailer, where she looks through the net curtains, and then the door starts rattling and banging. I think it's at this bit. Where is it? This bit. Bang! Yeah, you notice the curtains moved, and the doors, banging back as though an invisible force is banging on the door. She wonders what's going on. So she calls the police out again. The same fella comes out. Sergeant, what's his face? Has he got a name? I don't know. Let's have a look. I think it's him. Samuels. I think. Looks like him. Yeah, I'll say Samuels. We'll say Sergeant Samuels. Sounds reasonable. Or he just could be called Josh, couldn't he? No, he doesn't look like a Josh. Back to that again. So, he said, there's no signs of, anybody's been around, but he thinks, it could have been kids. It could have been kids messing about, trying to scare her, knowing she's alone. So he says he'll talk to the local families, because they're supposed to be quite remote, by the way, where they are. They're quite a while away from town. But he says he'll have a word with the local families and see what they've got to say. But in the meantime, she just needs to relax. And and all that. So that's that. Next day, I presume it's next day. Well, whenever she's at work with her sister, the cleaning, and she wants some, married Joanna from Hannah, and Hannah says she hasn't got any because wherever she gets it from is away, so she hasn't got any. But says she doesn't think she should give her some anyway because she's a recovering addict, so she shouldn't have any. So they have a bit of a falling out here, a little bit. See there, she grabs her stuff and walks away, leaving Hannah to finish off the job. Right. Oh, she comes back home, goes back in. Is it this one where she hears the crying? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. She's going to. That's it. Yes, I think. I don't know if she'd left the light on. I never actually noticed if she turned the light off in this room. I'm guessing she's supposed to have turned the light off in this room, and then when she comes back from work, the light's on, so she wouldn't turn it off. She's phoning Tim again, I think, and he'll be home tomorrow. It must have been the day after tomorrow when she were on the phone to him on her birthday. What's happening now? Can't remember. This might be where she's hearing the crying, is it? Yes, it is. She can hear some crying. It sounds like a woman crying. It's like in the distance. And she looks around, and then I'd have just hid under the covers if I were in a house all by myself, a creepy old 18th century house, and I could hear crying. I wouldn't have gone to investigate, I can tell you that for note. Or all the light, every light in the house would have been on. But she goes to look at this closet door. I presume it's a closet. We don't actually see in this room, but it's very dark. Even the back of the door's dark. And they never open it. She's going to make me a liar now, probably. They never open it with the handle. See, let's just play a bit and see what happens. I'm sure she reaches there. She goes to the edge of the door. What? There's a bloody handle there. Why don't you use that? What if something on the other side suddenly pulled the door shut? You'd trap your fingers, wouldn't you, silly girl? Anyway, she opens the door. There we go. And I was expecting the noise to stop, the crying to stop as soon as she touched the door, but it doesn't. It carries on. It actually gets louder, as we can see. It's very dark in there. And she sees something, I don't know, but she takes a step forward. She reaches out to whatever's in there. There you go. She reaches out. So this is another incident that's showing us that the house is doing things with her. And right, we're cutting to the 8th of October. Hope you're keeping track of these dates because I'm not. I should have written all this down, shouldn't I? See if it were keeping, in time. But anyway, 8th of October. I'm sure wasn't the day that she went. Wasn't that 8th of October when she found the underground place? I don't know. I can't remember. See, I should have made notes. Anyway, she's in the woods and she's there you go. She finds this little stool with a doll on it. And she's looking at this house with a family inside. And there you go. There's a mother, and the mother's got a young son and a young daughter there. And that's it. So she's watching them for some year. I saw that same year. Yes, it's the same. It's 2011, isn't it? It was 2011, wasn't it? I can't go back now. But it was 2011, didn't it? Come on, go back. Yes, 2011. Yes. Till 2011. The wedding were in 2010, and this is in 2011. But she's watching this family for some reason. We learn why later on. Right, Tim's back home. Sets the alarm. Calling for Molly. Don't know where she is. She's not answering. Then he finds her. There she is, sitting naked on her bed. Don't need me black things. Fine. Sitting naked on the bed, staring up at something. So something's happened to her. Don't know what. But she's obviously having problems. Then what? She's having a bath. they're just talking about, him going away and leaving her by herself, and she was scared and all that, and people have been bothering her, but they're going out for a drive. Out. Yes, she said when she was sat on the bed, she said he's still alive, and he's asking her who's still alive. Don't know why I didn't ask her then, but he's asking her now, and she doesn't answer. Right, they're going to church. That's where they're going. So there's a band in the church playing some, Christian rock, and they're all getting down. The only Christian rock I know is Striper. Anyway, that's enough of me. Right, what next? Right, she kind of makes up with her. She gives Hannah a big hug, which kind of, surprises Hannah, given their argument, I suppose, yesterday or the day before, whenever it was. But she's sitting in the dark. We cut to night time. She's sitting in the dark. Tim's asleep. She's sitting in the dark, smoking a cig. And he said eating a cig then. Right, where's she going now? She goes up to the attic and she finds a suitcase, I think, with stuff in. Yeah, a photo album. Yes, we see this photo album later. I think this teddy bear also is important. There we see that's a mother. Probably pregnant with, either Hannah or Molly. I could give you a list of old school Christian rock. Yes, I'm sure there's lots of Christian rock bands out there. Anyway, so she's looking through this album. Nice family photos. And we see her and her sister, I presume. There we go. In happier times. And there's a dad, Ben. Have they been fishing? Is that what this is? There's something to do with fishing or something. I don't know. I thought somebody scribbled something out, but you can see shadows. So I think maybe they've gone fishing. There is, but he were quite, by the way, quite young when he died, Ben. We find out how he died later on, but obviously quite young. And he does look kind of shifty, doesn't he? Spoilers, there's inferences that, abuse were going on. Anyway, move on. Oh, pardon me. Now, this teddy bear, is it this bit now? Yes, this teddy bear. She opens it up and she finds something inside. And it's like a little hex bag or something. So there's like witchcraft going on, sort of thing. Go on, when you do it. You're going to show it. No, I've gone too far now, haven't I? Show us. You're going to show us what's in. But you don't, do you? You don't. I bet you cut now to that external shot, don't you? And I'm going to have to go all the way back. Go back again. There we go. Oh, no, it's not a hex bag. No, I'm an idiot. Me and bloody hex bag. When I watched it earlier on, I'm thinking, it's got a stick in it and some silver. No, it's her drug kit. That's what it is. From when she was an addict, it's a spoon in it and a needle for injecting. And I think there's a little pouch of, I don't know. They have heroin or whatever. I don't know. Whatever she's taking, that's in there. Hex bag. What an idiot. Anyway, so that's what's in there. So she's got that out, and she does use it a little bit later. Right. Oh, I'm going to get ready now with my black bars. Right, so I'm going to have to go out of full screen for this now. So just bear with me. I'll move my bar about a bit. Oh, dear. Don't mind me. Hang on, get rid of that. Go on, hide toolbar. Is there a way to hide toolbar? Oh, that's locked it though, hasn't it? Don't want to lock it. Just go away. You used to be able to, make it disappear, didn't you? Now you can't. Stupid Windows. Anyway, never mind. Where were we? Right, he's making breakfast. Is Tim? Some bacon and eggs, he says. And she comes down. There's Molly, as we'll see. Hang on, I've got to go back to this. But she seduces her husband in quite an aggressive way. So this is where we get a sex scene. So with a bit of luck, I might be able to, get past this without any bits showing. Or I'll have to be quick on this black bar. But we're fine. It's close. Go on, get past. There we go. Ooh, we made it. Go back to full screen. So they have sex in the kitchen. And then the smoke alarm goes off because his bacon and eggs is burning. So he's to go and pulls on his keks and gets rid of all that. When he comes back in, she's disappeared as Molly. And where does he find her? I don't know. Where's she gone? Oh, see, that's gone too far now. I can't remember where she's gone. Does it show us? I can't remember. I was looking for her, and no, I don't think he finds her. I think she's just vanished. I don't know where she's gone to. Anyway, we see her, she's at work now. Here she is, and she's not looking well. There you go. This is the boss, whatever he's called. Let's have a look. Hensley sounds reasonable. Yeah, I think it is Hensley. That's her boss. I can't read that. Yeah, it might say Hensley. He says to her, you don't look well. You should go home. She says, oh, no, I can't. I need the money and all that. I need the hours. That's what she says. And he says, well, I can't send you out front or whatever. She says, well, I'll work back here. So it must be like a mall or something she works in. So she stays, working behind the scenes, so to speak. Oh, yes, it is Hensley, it says there. Look. Oh, yes, it is a mall. Collingwood Mall, it says. Yes. So she's working, behind the scenes, backstage, doing the washing and all that. Doing all this. Moving things about, being industrious, and something happens in the mid. Right, she comes back down here. She's walking down here, and she hears a noise. I think she hears somebody singing the Lovely Molly song. We hear it quite a bit. It sings about like spring and when spring comes and da 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 and all that. I can't remember the words. But it was Molly, lovely Molly, and all that. And it's a man's voice singing it. And she can hear it. And she says, is anybody there? Who's there? And when she looks, there's like a shadow at the end of this corridor, and whoever's singing it, we hear like the clip clop of horses' hooves. Then it just kind of cuts to black or whatever, or changes the scene. Something did happen. We find out later on that something did happen then. Quite shocking, to be honest. But that looks like a figure, doesn't it? Is it Swamp Thing? I don't know. Anyway. So back at the house, what's happening? She's smoking. 10th of October now. She's been all sad. Has he gone off again? He might have gone off on another job. I can't actually remember. I think he has, because I think he said he'd come back, and then he said he'd to go again on Monday until Wednesday, I think. What had happened there? She's hearing noises again. She can hear it coming up the stairs. The song's singing again, the Lovely Molly song. The male voice is singing it. And it's supposed to be a dad. Man thing, the superior entity. There we go. That were in that Werewolf by Night, wasn't it? Which I didn't like. Anyways, you can hear something with horses' hooves or whatever hooves clopping up the stairs and singing this song. And it's supposed to be her dad. She's seeing her dad. When she sees it, we don't see it. She's seeing her dad, but obviously he's changed and he's supposed to be some demonic entity now. And so she gets a camera out. She wants to record whatever's happening, and the door opens. Terrified. on, you silly thing. There you go. The key falls out of the door. The door opens and she runs into the closet to hide. And then that's the end of that scene. You know, if it bloody skips, stupid bloody thing. There we go. Hiding in the closet. Oh, that's it. No, she goes hides in the closet. The closet door bursts open, as you see, like that. You know, she's dropped the camera or just put it down under the bed. I think she did under a bed, or she did under something. Maybe it's not the closet, maybe it's another room. I don't know, whatever. But she's basically dragged away screaming. So I think the inference is she's been she seduced her husband earlier, and now she's been, you know, attacked sexually by basically, you know, a demon dad, I suppose you could say. And spoilers, when she were at work, the same thing happened there. So is it real? Is it all in her head? We don't know. Anyway, so something's happened to her at work. She's getting worse and worse. She's looking iller and iller all the time, you know, more tired and stuff because she's not sleeping, obviously. But she's called into the boss's office, Hensley's office, and he shows her the footage. Here we go. We see her here in the CCTV footage. This is when, you know, she heard the click cloppety noise and the singing, and we see that she gets to the end of the corridor. And basically, she pulls her trousers down, and then she's like, well, she's been, you know, got, if you know what I mean, from behind by an unseen force. But obviously, Hensley's not thinking that. He's thinking she's just wigging out and doing freaky things in the corridor with the trousers down. And he says, you know, what do you think you're doing? And she's obviously knows that she's been assaulted. You know, it's all like The Entity style, which is another film. This is a film we might do, but there might be black bars in that one as well. She gets all upset, but then she changes. Her demeanor changes immediately, and she starts laughing. Look, and you know, she's saying, you know, obviously, you know, you can see what happened. I pulled my trousers down, and I was, you know, effed from behind by an invisible force, and all that. So I think she gets sent home now. I don't think she gets fired. Maybe she does. I don't know, but. It kind of ends as that scene with her being a bit hysterical. So she goes home. I think sister's taking her home. Look, they're all worried about her. Then we cut to 11th of October. Joshua. Yes, I've seen this before. Thought it seemed familiar. Yeah, I think it's a good film. Right, she's in the woods again. At that house, there we go. She's watching the family doing their family things. The little girl sees her. I think she snaps a twig or something, and the little girl sees her. There you go. And she goes wandering off again, and she finds a dead deer. There you go. I think it's been caught in that fence and obviously died. And then, you know, what happens to that deer? We might see it again later on. Right, she's sitting naked again on the little bed. Calls Pastor Bobby. Either she called her or her sister called her. I don't know. I can't remember. But Pastor Bobby's arrived, and they're having a glass of wine. And you see, she's actually dolled herself up. She's put makeup on and stuff, and seems relaxed and that. A bit too relaxed, to be honest. Basically, going to try and seduce Pastor Bobby. She does a bit of a basic instinct thing with her legs, and obviously Pastor Bobby's eyes. You know, you can't help it, can you? Your eyes just are drawn to certain parts, and she obviously, you know, she did it on purpose. There you go. She noticed, and then she's trying to seduce him, but he says no, he's not having any of it. So he goes. We don't see what happens, to be honest. He's worried about her, you know, about what's happening to her. You know, she's acting, you know, not normal. No, she's not in her right mind. No, she's not. Oh, you go. That's the basic instinct bit. He goes, and then I think she's in the kitchen taking her drugs. She's off. She's fallen off the wagon. There we go. Right. So what's happening now? Who's this? I think this is Hannah, isn't it? Her sister and the kid. What's happening here? Oh, I can't actually remember. My son came down in the middle of me watching this, and I could have missed a bit. Yes. Molly's gone over to see Hannah, and maybe Hannah can tell that she's been, she's using again, and so she's staying over at Hannah's for the night. Right, 12th of October. She's back on her camcorder. She must have a lot of tapes. She's videoing this woman, this mystery woman, at I presume it's at her job, wherever she works. Like she works at the mall. Maybe she's shopping. I don't know, but she's following her. Right. Anyway, Tim comes home from work. He goes into the house. That's the doors. I think the door was unlocked and the alarm wasn't set. So that's a red flag. And there we see the wreath. Anything else of note? No. Anyway, a horse there. Look. And there's a horrible smell in the house. They don't describe what it is. I suspect it's like the smell of, putrefaction, that sort of smell. So he goes round looking for whatever it is, opening all the doors and windows to get rid of the smell. He sees a paraphernalia on the table, so he's not happy about that. But he doesn't actually bring it up just yet. He does later on, but not with Molly. He doesn't bring it up with Molly. He brings it up with Hannah, I think, later on. So they're having dinner. I don't know if he just left the stuff there and in the bathroom. I don't know. I can't remember. So he's worried about her, so he's going to make an appointment with the doctor to go and see the doctor tomorrow. He says. All right. So what's happening next? He's going for a wee in the middle of the night. Why? He hears her talking. Yes, he hears her talking. She's sitting there in the kitchen with the camcorder, and she's talking. She says she's talking to her dad, Ben, and he's hiding. He's been really quiet, so she doesn't know he's there. But then she's talking, and it's as though her dad tells her that Tim's there, and so she says, "Tim, come here. I want you to meet my dad." Obviously, he can't see. Ben is there. There's just nothing there. There's no like huge demonic Ben, with horses' hooves and stuff. They'd been cool if it was, but only had $1 million budget. But obviously, so he thinks Molly's gone a bit, off the reservation, so to speak. So he's worried about her, and anyway, so they go to bed. Right, so she goes to see the doctor. The doctor says she's fine. He's just going to prescribe her, something to help her sleep, basically. He says she seems fine physically and all that. And Tim says, well, what if she continues to see her dead dad? He says, well, then they can sort out some psychiatric help. But for the moment, he's going to prescribe her something to help her sleep. So they're sitting watching TV. And she falls asleep on the couch. Tim goes off to bed, turns everything off, covers her up, goes off to bed. And then she wakes up at some unknown hour and goes and does something. I can't remember what. We will see what happens. What's happening here? She's freaking out over something, and I can't actually remember what she's freaking out about. Oh no, that's it. She hears, the clip clopperty, and the lovely Molly. She's freaking out about that, saying he's coming, and so she starts filming. He hides in the closet, and she says, "Can't you hear him? Can't you see him?" And he says, "No, obviously he can't. There's nothing there." So, he grabs hold of her, says, Molly, calm down and all that. Anyway, they start kissing, but then she starts biting on his lips, biting there. And so there's blood flowing. 'Cause obviously she's gone bonkers. There you go, she's got blood on her mouth. And I thought she was actually going to bite his lips clean off, but she doesn't. But we see she does this again later on with somebody else. You'll see. There we go. So obviously Tim's called Hannah. She's come over. There he is with her ice pack on his gob, and he says, she needs help, and he's going to call the doctor or whatever. I think we're going to call the police. I don't know, but she needs psychiatric help. That's what he keeps shouting. She needs psychiatric help, and Hannah's saying, "Well, no, because she'd been through that as a kid, I think, and she didn't want us to go through that again." So she says, "Let me talk to her." So, well, whatever. Happens here. Not showing his mouth really, because it doesn't really seem to have much. It can't have been even though there's blood. It can't have been it's not a deep injury. He could just go to hospital and he comes with like some butterfly stitches on, so it can't have been that bad. Anyway, but she's going to talk to Molly. She says to him, you go to hospital and get that seen to. Then, by the way, she'd run off into the woods, by the way. He says, where is she? So I don't know, she ran off into the woods. So here she is in the woods on the 15th of October. Where is she now? She's back at that house again. I think, no, she's back at their house. I think she's watching Hannah coming looking for her, isn't she? Yeah, we're watching Hannah. Hannah doing here? Yes. She goes down into the basement. I think it's the basement in the house, not the basement in the, where she found, that weird place with the horse's head emblem thing. I think it's actually in the house, I think. So Hannah's gone to, I think she saw her going there and she's followed her. And then we see there's the stuff splashing and gooey. And so something not nice is happening in the basement. And apparently the smell's back. Smell of putrefaction. And we find out what's going on. Molly's stabbing something that's hanging up in somewhere up here in the basement. I mean, it turns out it's the deer, the deer that she found in the woods. She's dragged it home and put it up, strung it up in the basement for whatever reason. And I think she's telling Hannah here that he's still alive. The dad's still there, and there you go. There we see the deer that it's all covered in maggots and it's all rotting, and she's like hugging it as though it's a cuddly toy. But I think here she says to Hannah that her dad told Molly that Hannah had actually killed him. In the documentary, it tells you what happened to Ben, the father. It doesn't really explain it here. It says he were killed, and but we learn that it was Hannah that killed him. That she says, gutted him from the, I don't know, crotch to the neck or something. But it doesn't say that in the documentary. He was stabbed with a screwdriver several times, and that's what killed him, with a screwdriver. And that's important to the film because screwdriver comes back into play later. Right. So they're all freaking out now. She's going to call 911, but then she doesn't call 911. I don't know if she's going to call 911 about Molly or call 911 and confess to murdering her own father. And by the way, she said she did it to protect them both because obviously we're abusing them both with her dad. And it was made. I think it looked like an accident or something like that, or an intruder had done it. But obviously the police didn't think the girls had killed them because they didn't get done for it. There was no inkling that it was self-defense or anything like that. So the unsolved crime, I think. Right, obviously she's got Molly settled down and their room, and talking about things and being all sad and saying she's sorry, but I did it to protect you and all that. He was a bad man, basically. Then what? Then what happens? She's having a ciggy. What happens next? She's going. Yeah. Oh, that's the dad's chair. Oh, yes. I think they were like voices or something, but he couldn't really make it out, I think. And she's got to do something. Obviously, there's a shovel for something that's going to be used later. There you go. She's watching that family again on the 16th of October. She's watching the family. And this is when we find out there she is with Tim. So Tim's having an affair with this woman, whoever she is. You see her pleasuring Tim. So obviously Molly's not happy about that now, but suddenly it becomes a revenge flick. Now then, I've got to be careful here now. There's another black bar bit. Right. Pastor, what's his face, has turned up. Pastor Bobby's arrived. She obviously phoned him. Now then, got to be careful here now. I'm going to have to be quick because there's the full frontal. She comes out, does Molly, naked. Now then, sees her, she's naked. Hey, steady on. Oh, that was close. Hopefully it'll got past quick. Anyway, goes up to her. No messing about this time. Remember the previous time, he didn't want anything to do with it. Now he's all for it. So he's going to, he's out there, but he's all, having fun and, carnal games. By the way, Bobby, he hadn't always been a pastor, and so he had known women before, apparently. But now he's known Molly. But then we learn that all hasn't ended well for Pastor Bobby, because there we see Molly goes to the toilet. We're thinking, where's Pastor Bobby got to? We find out where he is. He's there. He's dead in the bath with all bite marks all over him. And we learn later on the screwdriver in the back of his head. By the way, we'd seen the screwdriver earlier on. I forgot to mention it. When she was asleep on the couch and she woke up, she actually looked under the couch and there was a screwdriver there under the couch. And she's killed Pastor Bobby with that screwdriver in the back of his head. Oh, she's murdered a holy man, I suppose you could say. She's seduced her husband. She's been ravaged by a unknown force, a demonic force. What else? And now she's murdered a holy man. But he was a lapsed holy man, I suppose it could be argued. So things are coming to a head. She's there filming again. Is this where we see the photographs of? Yes, the photographs of all the horses' heads have been cut out. They weren't like that earlier. Joshua says that's what I was thinking about earlier. Remembering this bit in the bathroom. All right. Yes, somebody, presumably Molly, has cut the horses' heads out of all the photographs. We see why later. We see why. This is Hannah not being happy, thinking about what she's done and what Molly said to her about killing the father and all that. I thought she was going to do something silly, but she doesn't. Molly is now on the 17th of October. Filming the body of Pastor Bobby and taking the screwdriver out of the back of his head because she's going to use it again in a bit. This is Tim coming home from hospital with his, his little silly stitches or plasters on his covering up his stitches. Why? And as he's driving home, he sees one of the neighbours' houses as I don't know if this is them that she was spying on, but the policeman says somebody's gone missing. So just carry on. But we'd just seen him, haven't we, there? But I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, so somebody's been reported missing. We find out who later. Tim comes home. I mean, maybe he wasn't even. Well, I don't know though. Maybe did she imagine that he were having an affair, and that's just what she wanted to see? I don't know. Or maybe we're on a different day. I don't. Maybe all the stuff that we're seeing through the camcorder is at a different time to what we're seeing on film. A bit like in Blair Witch 2. That had separate stuff, didn't it, for the film and video stuff. Joshua says daughter, son. Yes, one of them's missing. It's the daughter. It's the daughter that's gone missing. So he goes home. What happens now? Yes, he finds the camcorder and he sees. Yes. So it must have. Yes, it looks at the footage that she'd taken of his of him being, with this other woman. So he realizes she knows now. So I don't. So had he gone to see her and then gone to the hospital afterwards? Had he gone to see her with all his, bloody mouth and stuff, and then gone to the hospital afterwards? I don't know. I don't know. And then on his way back, stuff had happened. Anyway, as he's watching this, the earrings were there that he gave her for her birthday. But then Molly comes up from behind with the baseball bat and gives him a good wallop on the back of the head with the baseball bat and knocks him out cold. There he is. She drags him downstairs. I think. Actually, no, she doesn't. She throws him downstairs. I just remembered. It was just off he goes. Way, my shoe. So throws him downstairs. I think she drags him down to the basement next. I'm bumping his head on every step. She don't care, and he's all like going, so he's like coming to a little bit. And she gets the screwdriver, lifts him up, and basically, I think she turns him over and like pulls his head back, and basically uses the screwdriver and just shoves it into the back of his head. We see his injury there from the baseball bat. She just kills him with a screwdriver in the back of the head, and you see he goes. That's one dead Tim. So she's killed her husband now. There you go. That'll do it. So no stopping you now. Hey, she's back with a camcorder now on the 18th. There we go. She's watching. She's a bit close. Unless she's got a good zoom, I don't know. But she's watching the search and rescue teams and actually find the missing person. It's the daughter of the woman that he were having an affair with. So she's killed an innocent as well, I suppose. Is that how you say? Is that it's like a ritual that's been playing out, isn't it? You'd have thought they'd have had something a bit like in Midsummer, something that had told us how the whole film was going to pan out. But anyway, so she's killed a child now. Buried. I don't know if she buried her alive or killed her then buried her. I don't know, but they found her in a shallow grave in the woods. So the mother's freaking out, obviously. So she goes back home. There we go. We see her. She's crying. She's sobbing her eyes out. She's naked again, and all dirty and all that. But then, don't worry, we don't see out. You can see she's been clawing at the carpet. But then she stops suddenly, and goes all possessed, I suppose you could say. There you go. Oh, cracky! Hang on. Go on, get past that bit. Oh, cracky! That was close. YouTube will have my guts for garters. Right, so she comes out now. She goes to the door, and this is really the culmination of the film. This is the bit you've been waiting for, although it's not technically not the end of the film. She goes out, and I don't want to miss any of it. Goes out naked. In the trailer, she had panties on. So did the two versions of it, like the airline version or something where she had panties on. You can see her bum. I don't know. Would YouTube play pop for showing bums? I don't know. But anyway, she goes out into the woods, and as she's going, you can see. There you go. There's a figure waiting for her. And it says in the description and the plot description on Wikipedia that it's got like a horse's head, and I thought, fair enough, because it's all been horse imagery, but it looks more like a wolf to me. Let me have a look. Where are we? Yeah, horse, glowing eyes, a horse head, and the body of a man resembling the demon Oribas, which is like a horse-headed demon. But see if we can get a look at it. There we go. Pressing the wrong buttons again. You can see it's there. Look out there. You don't get a particularly good look at it. It's got its arms out, and it's and it enfolds its arms around her. This demon. Is it kind of like a folk thing as well? Is it like a wood demon? A bit like in the I forgot the name of that film now. Is it The Ritual? That one? So that film. But yeah, like I say, it looks more like a wolf to me than a horse. But horse imagery has been all the way through the film, so I suppose you could say it's a horse, but it does look more wolf-like. Yes, I think that's supposed to be her dad, or a demon pretending to be her dad. I don't know, but and there it is. That's why she's going to it. She wants to be with it, and its arms go around her, and then there you go. And then we cut to black. I thought the film was going to end then, but it doesn't. Then we cut to sometime. There's a passage of time. I don't know how long. I presume it's been a while. Don't know what's happened to her. I can't remember the date at the beginning of the. Was it the 18th? I think it was the 18th, wasn't it, of October? And so all this happened. Yeah, as it happened up to that, hasn't it? So she's done like a confession thing, and then she's gone out into the woods. Was she ever found? I don't know. I don't know if she was ever found. But anyway, the house is empty now. Hannah's coming here, so I presume she's in possession of the house now, so to speak. She goes into the house. Like I say, it's empty. There's no furniture in it now, so it's obviously they have the house clearers out, and she's looking round, and then she's drawn to the room. There you go. Oh, and that's the photo album that we saw her looking at in the attic. So she starts looking through that. There's Hannah. She's looking through the photos of her and her sister as kids. But then we start seeing the photos of her dad. That's where the horses' heads were cut out. She's put horses' heads on her dad. So yes, it was her dad, or a demon pretending to be her dad, whatever, but it had a horse's head, even though it looked more like a wolf to me, but never mind. She sees that, there we go. So that's obviously a clue. But then she's drawn to this closet door. And hang on, I forgot to there we go. Drawn to the closet door. And again, she doesn't use the bloody door handle. I don't know if she's hearing anything, but she goes to open it. Look, there's a bloody handle there. Don't they use it? But as you can see, it's very dark inside. Even the inside of the door is dark. But she's obviously drawn in there, so it's all happening again. And I say she starts going towards it. Look, as we reaches out to it, and then the film ends. There we go. So that's the end of the film. I don't think anything else happens. Let's just go and make sure. It just shows us some, presumably, photos from the album or from the wedding and stuff like that. I suppose. I don't think there's an end credit scene. But just the photos from the album, one would expect. Yeah. I'll keep checking just to make sure. You never know. You never know. I didn't actually watch it to the end, so I'm a bad person. I should have watched it all the way through, but I'd had enough. And I thought, I don't think anything happens. I don't think anything happens. Go on, bloody move. That's obviously a wedding photo. That might be. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I read it in one of the trivia things. The director's sons I think his two sons, and they were both in the film at the wedding. So that could be one of Eduardo Sanchez's sons, maybe. I don't know. When are you going to do something? I think that could be it now. I think that could be it. Well, there's Tim and Molly on their happy wedding day. Hey, it should end with a horse going, hey, shouldn't it? Fade to black. Yeah, that's it. Done. Right. Done. Which is a decent film, I think. I think it's all right. And I didn't have to use my black bar, did I? Managed to get away with it, I think. Joshua says, I think the way they opened the door, something to do with what happened to them as kids. Maybe so, I don't know. It just seems a bit peculiar, doesn't it? There's a perfectly serviceable door handle. But it just seems a bit weird that the grab hold of the edge of the door. Make it look creepy, I suppose. But anyway, so there we go. That's the end of it anyway. Sounds big again. There we go. So yeah, I enjoy that film. I think it's a good film. It's a good low budget chiller, and it's got some good scenes in it. You know, it's not the most action packed film in the world, but it's got just enough chills. And that's the end scene is the bit you're waiting for in it, where you see the figure in the woods. Is it demonic or is it is it all in her head? I don't think it is it? It can't be, can it? Because it starts affecting the sister. Or is it passed down through the family? But if you watch the documentaries, I meant to do that, didn't I? Hang on, now we'll get them. I'll get the documentaries up because I ripped them from the DVD. So just bear with me when I find them. Where have I put the bloody things? Clickety click as I use my mouse. Right. So I'm not get up. Shush. Shush. Mute. I'll full screen that. Right, hang on, make myself small again. We'll have a quick look at these documentaries. There we go. Like I said, these are on the DVD, and just going through the. Going through the true story. No, it's not a true story. Joshua says, definitely solid. I recall watching this uncomfortably at parts with my ex-wife. Yeah, it is a bit uncomfortable at times. The sex scene is a bit awkward, but anyway. When she's biting his lip. Anyway, right. So we're seeing here the wedding, and we're learning all about Molly, and it's talking as though it's a documentary, as though it's something that really happened, and that Molly went crazy. But don't tell us what happened to her afterwards. Did they find her, or has she gone off? Is she missing? I don't know. But they know she did all this stuff because she left a confession video, and then it shows you about all that. See, like her dad and stuff, more of a family life. And we're learning about the history of the place where people were hanged. They say hung, people were hung. They said, but no, they were hanged. Hanged there during the Civil War and stuff like that. That one. Is that the end? No, that's. There we see that's her mother. Learn that her mother died of a blood disease that left her dad to bring up two young daughters. But then we learn that he abused them. But then they talk about the house. It was called the Dublin House, built by an Irish fella. I can't remember his name. In the late 18th century. Does it say on there? I don't know. No, it doesn't. But it were building it on, sacred ground, Native American burial ground sort of thing. That old chestnut. So we're always in conflict with the natives. There he is. There's Ben. Actually, hear him talking this. So we learn about that, and then we learn about the social workers had been called in because people were worried about the kids, but they couldn't find any proof that they were being abused. There you go. Oh yes, they were fishing. All right. Anyway, what else? Oh, there we go. There's where we're learning that he's dead. That is being found dead as Ben. But we learn it was actually Hannah that killed him with a screwdriver. Presumably pushed him down the stairs. Probably stabbed him and he fell down the stairs or whatever. I don't know. But that killed him anyway. So there we go. Oh, and the screwdriver in his hand. So did he kill himself? I don't know. Maybe he did. But Hannah said she did it. So did she kill him and then put the screwdriver in his hand? I don't know. Baffling. Oh, was it an accident? I've no idea. It's done in that sort of like Blair Witch style, you know, that the Curse of the Blair Witch documentary that were included, you know, on the Blair Witch DVD. That's that sort of thing where it's, you know, they're pretending it's real. And this is a doctor that came out to investigate the house, but then he died. It sort of started affecting him, did the house. They're trying to make out it's the house itself. There's something weird going on with it. And he eventually died. Not long after, you know, going to the house. And what? More showing her dad. This is the doctor. And he's suggesting that, you know, it is all in the mind. Joshua says, you think the girls have some help from outside on taking care of their dad? I don't know. Yeah, lizard people. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I think it's supposed to be a bit ambiguous, isn't it? You know, we haven't got all the answers. But you know, the inference was there that Hannah did kill the dad. But why is he holding the screwdriver? I don't know. But or maybe he managed to get it off her and then he fell down the stairs. I don't know. Still clutching it. Anyways, that's basically the gist of what those documentaries are about. And then it talks about the demon. How to get out of this? Hang on, I'll go to the one that talks about the demon. Is it this one? Is it this one? Come on, showers. There we go. The talk about the Ouroboros. There you go. Ouroboros or whatever they call it. Demon. I don't know if do they actually show it? Like an image of it. I can't actually remember. They don't. Well, this is a recreation of the Irish fella going and here he is, going and killing local Native Americans, and I think he slaughtered his family as well. Anyway, but yeah, there's all that. And then he got in. I say we're into all this occult stuff. So they're saying, did he bring it over with him from Ireland? All this occult imagery and all that. And you know, did he bring the demon with him, or was it always there? I don't know. It's become an evil place, basically. I know it's not going to show it, is it? I don't think. But what an image! I saw an image of it. Anyway, you know what it's like. It's like a person, a man's body and a horse's head and horse's feet. And but this fella's a doctor saying it's all a load of rubbish. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Right. So yeah, I quite enjoy that film. It's quite good. I've had it a while on DVD. I've only watched it a couple of times, to be completely honest. And I don't really know why I picked it, because it's not one of my favourite horror films, but I was just drawn to it for some reason. Anyway, so give it a whirl. It's a decent film. So we'll leave it there. So thanks, Joshua, for joining in, even though you were, what did you say? What's the word? Saints Preservers. Oh, no, that was Windgrace. And Windgrace was scared as well. Oh dear. So anyway, thanks Windgrace and Joshua for joining in. I don't think anybody else popped in, did they? No, they didn't. Anyway, so we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there until next week. I haven't really decided what I'm going to watch next week. I haven't decided what's my Monday Moan's going to be either. I'm going to have to have a... No, I'm going to have to gonna have to pull my finger out, and decide what I'm watching. Anyway, all will be revealed soon. Right, so thanks for watching. Hang on, make myself big again. There we go. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, don't have nightmares. Look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you there.